Air New Zealand has lifted its annual profit despite facing the headwinds of rising fuel costs and engine problems. Of course, the national carrier's profit edged up 2% to $390 million as it flew more people domestically and on trans-Tasman routes. Investors saw their dividend rise, while all staff will be given an $1,800 bonus each. But as our economics correspondent Patrick O'Mara reports, air travellers are grumbling they're unfairly paying more to fatten profits at the incumbent airline.
Once again, final call for customers on Air New Zealand flight 420 to Auckland, gate 16. Thank you.
Air New Zealand's Chief Executive Christopher Luxon was in an upbeat mood today.
Yeah, it was a fantastic set of financial results today. We delivered $540 million net profit before tax. That was our second highest result ever, and it was really done fighting a lot of big cost imposts around fuel.
Air New Zealand's 8,500 staff will each receive an $1,800 bonus for their efforts, while investors will get an improved dividend payout of 22 cents a share. But travellers have experienced higher prices, with domestic fares going up by 5% in May, while the airline also hiked charges for extras such as baggage by up to 50% in February. At Wellington Airport, passengers feel they're paying over the odds to fly the national carrier, which is majority owned by the government and has an 80% share of the domestic market.
I think so, yeah. I think working for a government department, we're just sort of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
We have a colleague that lives in Gisborne and works here, and the cost on her is horrendous because those small town airports, the flights,
they fly regionally, it's very expensive.
Nothing we can do, and I don't particularly like the way they make huge profits.
Look at what people are paid, the salaries as a start. I mean, ignore the overheads of running an airline, but I think that, CEOs could take a little bit of a pay cut.
I would say so, because I went to book my ticket a couple of days ago and it was 120, and then I booked it yesterday and it was 180. I couldn't quite understand why there was such a big jump.
Most of those in New Plymouth also felt shortchanged by Air New Zealand.
It's good when you can get buy on the grab one deals or when they have their specials. Otherwise, if you have to buy on the spot, it's very expensive.
You think that's fair enough?
I don't think so.
Funnily enough, I had to go down to Dunedin last week to a funeral, so I was desperate for seats. I got a reasonable price ticket from New Plymouth to Christchurch, and they shoved me around on the day coming back, and I got a cheaper set with them coming back. So my recent experience with them has been good.
Oh no, I think they're a bit high.
Do you reckon they could
come down a wee bit? Yes, especially if they've made a good profit.
Well, I think we should be encouraging people to travel within our own country and affordably before travelling overseas, and often it's cheaper to just travel overseas. It's not acceptable.
Christopher Luxon rejects claims the airline is ripping customers off, particularly in the regions where competition may be sparse.
That's not at all a fair comment to make. We work with those local communities to build demand through tourism so they can get high-value tourists into those local regional economies, and that's been going incredibly well. We've been growing regional New Zealand in the order of 2 to 2.5 times GDP growth over each of the last 5 years, which is a pretty impressive achievement.
Air New Zealand is a company New Zealanders love to grumble about. The airline was the 7th most complained about company to the Commerce Commission, behind ticket scalper Viagogo, but ahead of Wilson Parking. Despite the criticisms and rising airfares, the commercial director at the House of Travel, Brent Thomas, says more people than ever are deciding to fly.
We're certainly not seeing people not travel, so I think we're definitely going to see more people travelling going forward, and we've had very, very little feedback about the increases in the prices of tickets.
Air New Zealand is promising more cheap fares than ever next year, offering more than 2.9 million seats for under $100. But travel agents warn would-be travellers will have to be on their toes when the opportunity comes up, or face paying higher ticket prices. For Checkpoint, Patrick O'Mara.